Hello there and welcome to a brand new hobby streak week. This week we begin with day 2196. Before getting to what I did today, last week I rounded it off with finishing putting together the Blood Bowl Gnome team. Really lovely little models. Hopefully sometime soon I'll get ready to sort of paint my Blood Bowl stuff. And I also did my weekly roleplay as well. We're doing a sort of homebrew D&D. It's absolutely hilarious, and I've never felt so much freedom than how we're playing it right now. It's really great fun. However, for today I'm going to continue work with Marvel Zombies, Doctor Strange and Wong. I really did want to get these guys finished today, but unfortunately Doctor Strange is a fiddly little fellow, so there was quite a lot of bits and bobs that just basically dragged everything and slowed it down, like adding the dots to his gloves, for example. But I also, at the same time, I do like painting sort of models like this that do have quite a lot of detailing in them, because there's some sort of satisfaction that I get out of sort of completing them and having them finished. I mean, so for example, in complete and utter contrast, Wong, he's barely got any detail, so he's like done and dusted apart from his base. That needs to be a little bit more finished, but he's just sitting there, just waiting for me to finish Doctor Strange. I also tried my hand at a little bit of object source lighting. I'm learning still, so it's not like 100% perfect, but we're getting there. I'm enjoying doing it. I think it looks all right. All in all, I'm really happy with today's progress. They are nearly done. In fact, they will be done tomorrow. In the evening, I stuck together the Marvel Crisis Protocol Weapon X program rival set, which really lovely set, to be honest. Glad I picked it up. Today's 2197, and I'm going to finish off Doctor Strange and Wong. The models themselves are actually finished, so it's just a matter of sort of doing the bases and the tentacles that are wrapped around Doctor Hero Strange's base. Annoyingly, it took about 55 minutes to do everything, because, well, it's just there's not much there, but there's enough there to sort of keep you going with highlights and things like that. So it did take a little bit longer than I expected, but that's okay. The most important thing is, though, that I'm happy with the results, and of course, it doesnn't really matter. And plus the fact as well, if I ever do feel like changing things, I can always go back and repaint certain areas. That's the beautiful thing about this hobby. As I still had some time left over, I then started Marvel Zombies Scarlet Witch, both the hero and the zombie version. Although, I'll be completely honest, I didn't get as much done as I wanted to because it's getting really hot in my flat, and to be honest, that just sapped all of my energy completely out of me. I was sitting there just sweating, and I just wasn't sort of feeling it after the heat hit me. I also completely forgot to add the blood to Doctor Strange, so I had to go back and add a little bit of blood around his mouth and on his hand. Then went back to the Scarlet Witch. I finished off her pink, and I did the little vision, or the green on the little vision that's poking up on the zombie Scarlet Witch's base. Obviously, I'll continue with these guys tomorrow, but at the moment it is just so hot in my flat. It's just so unpleasant. I just cannot be bothered to continue. Today is 2198, and today I'm going to continue with Wanda Maximoff, aka the Scarlet Witch from Marvel Zombies. However, I'm not going to get very far into it whatsoever. I'm going to hit a wash wall almost immediately, basically because the figure is pretty much red. Now, that's literally all that's left to do is paint all that red. There is a lot of it as well, so naturally I added the wash, and that was as far as I could get. So from there I jumped onto more Blackstone Fortress stuff, and this time I'm painting the Traitor Commissar and that giant Ogren. I'm going to go with a similar theme to what I did the Traitor Guard with, so it's going to be sort of very browns and sort of reds and that sort of thing. I'm just basically playing it by ear, which is something I don't normally do. Normally I like to follow guides, but you know, hey, I can do whatever I like, so I'm going to do whatever I like, and apparently stumble over my words while I do it. Of course, once again, I hit a wash wall with those guys. I had about 20 minutes left, but the Scarlet Witch was still a little bit damp, and I just didn't want to sort of mess any of that up. Here is 2199, and I'm going to continue with Scarlet Witch. Getting all that red done was what took most of today's time up. I am happy with the results, and after that I managed to get her skin done. All that's left now is her hair and the base, and then we are done. I did have a little difficulty with her eyes today. I don't know why. It's just sometimes painting eyes can be a teeny bit fiddly than you want them to be. However, I'm happy with the results and the progress so far, and yeah, should be finished tomorrow. Today is 2200, and I'm going to finish off the Scarlet Witch for Marvel Zombies. So the very first thing I did today was a complete mess and a mistake. I started painting her hair black and then realised, oh, actually her hair isn't black, so then I had to readjust and start to paint it the correct colour. Then, while doing her eyebrows, I completely messed that bit up, so I had to redo that bit, which then made me mess up her eye, so I needed to repaint her eye as well. Then I finally managed to get to the point where I could put some wash on her hair and finish off her base, and she was finally done. All those mistakes, however, did cost me quite a lot of time. She took me an hour to complete because apparently I'm a muppet. Such a muppet, in fact, you'll notice that I completely forgot to add the blood on sort of around her mouth, so then I added some blood around her mouth. However, once I finally sorted all that out, I went back to the Commissar Ogren for Blackstone Fortress. Apparently my complete and utter stupidity had waned by this point, and I'd gone back to normal, almost, because I did actually start painting his trousers with the wrong colour as well, and then realised that, and was like, oh my god. I have no idea what's wrong with me today, but apparently it's just one of those days. But I did manage to get myself sorted, and the last thing I did was do a wash with the gold. I only had 5 minutes left after all that, and yeah, hopefully I should be able to get more done tomorrow. Today is day 2201, and I'm going to continue with the Ogren and the Commissar for Blackstone Fortress. I carried on from where I left off. I only had 45 minutes today before I had to pop off and do something else. However, it was time well spent. We highlighted everything that I started yesterday, and then we started on the skin and sort of the other areas. I also decided to go for a little bit of a retro feel with the Commissar's weapons. So I decided to paint them with Mephiston red, because I want to paint them red because I do miss the days when Space Marines and things like that had lovely sort of colourful red weapons and things like that. The last thing I was able to do was give the skin a wash with some Reichland Flesh Shade, ready for painting tomorrow. Hopefully I should get these guys finished and based tomorrow, as well as one unit of the cultists as well. Today is 2202, and I'm going to finish off the Commissar and Ogren for Blackstone Fortress. I started by finishing off the red. I'm really happy with the way it's turned out. It was also nice to sort of do a little bit of a throwback to the bygone era when I first started. All the weapons and things like that were like bright colours and things like that. It was really, really nice. However, I can understand why they sort of stopped doing it, because it's a bit of a pain in the bum. Plus, it doesn't really fit with the whole grim dark anymore. Then I moved on to the flesh and finished that off, and from there I just did the minor details. However, it did take the entire 2 hours. Sadly, I didn't get to do the Chaos Cultist base, so I'm probably going to do those tomorrow when I hit the first wash wall, which is going to be very soon with the project I'm going to be starting. But overall, I'm very happy with the way these guys have come out, and we are 2 more down. We're getting closer and closer to the end goal. Overall, this week has been a fairly good week. We didn't get like loads of models done, but we did get quite a lot of highly detailed models done, which is pretty good. Still really loving the Come On stuff for Marvel Zombies. Really interesting stuff to paint, really enjoying that. And it's always a pleasure to paint Games Workshop stuff. I know people complain about the too much like detail, but they really need to paint some Come On stuff, and then they'll learn just how much too much is. If you made it this far into the video, thank you so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. Maybe give the video a thumbs up, and if you haven't subscribed, give it a subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Goodbye for now.